right, positive energy all the time. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Rep your city. Rep your city. Shout out to everybody in Trinidad. Much love to you all. We got Buffalo, New York in the building twice. We got San Jose, California in the building. And I am representing Chicago. Shout out to everybody on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Facebook. We got Atlanta in the building. Come on in, come on in. Come on in. I was supposed to talk about this earlier, but had some business to take care of unexpectedly. Had to push it back. If you were watching yesterday, you might have seen the lights flick a little bit. Well, about 4 tornadoes came through the area, hit a couple of small towns outside of Chicago. I don't think anybody got unalive, but people's property definitely got destroyed out there in the south suburbs. Hopefully they are able to pull together, pull through. The weather has been crazy. We have Pittsburgh in the building. The weather has definitely been crazy. I'm going to have to get some metal boxes to put emergency stuff in. Just in case something happens, at least I can find a metal box. We got Greensboro in the building. We got Pittsburgh in the building. As the ambulance and fire truck passes through. So we're going to talk about delineation because some people think delineation is hate. No. It's not hate at all. So I'm going to get that part straight. Some people think it's hate. No. Actually, what sparked this one is I think that foundational Black Americans and our concept gets mistreated. I think we get mistreated. I think foundational Black Americans don't get the proper respect like other people. You know, they don't realize that, okay, you're a Nigerian, you're a Ghanaian. That's delineation. How is foundational Black Americans any different than being in Senegalese? A Senegalese is a Senegalese. They consider themselves a separate type of African. I don't get it. And people are mixing up the the negative energy with foundation of Black Americans. They're mixing up delineation with our dislike for certain behaviors. Those are two different things. I've seen some brothers and sisters from Africa, but brothers and sisters from Africa don't want to take no responsibility for their behavior. Brothers and sisters from Africa have not been good brothers and sisters at all. So now they're getting the backlash for their behavior, and they try to act like they don't know why. Africans are the last ones, G-Rod, to say anything because Africans don't even like Africans. And so it's crazy for Africans to call anybody a hater. With the tribalism going on in Africa, they're phony. Like Africans is tricked out. I don't know why they're trying to act like they like Africa. They don't even like, you know, crazy. Now, how you talking about FBA when you got xenophobia right now in South Africa? Unbelievable. Xenophobia in Africa is one of the reasons people don't like Africans. You're xenophobic. You're xenophobic in Africa. Unbelievable. G-Rod, unbelievable. Talk about somebody don't like somebody. It's the reason Africa's messed up right now because Africans is haters. They're tribal. We're not tribal. We're the only ones. We're just foundational Black Americans. What can Africans say about delineation? And that's why I'm explaining it. Technically, Africans don't leave Africa. Nigerians leave Nigeria. Technically, they're not Africans. They're not Africans. Not in Africa nowhere. Technically, they're not Africans. They're those brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa are everything that they say they hate about us. Imagine an African talking about unity. It's unbelievable. Bro, you're not even an African. You're a Ghanaian. You're a Senegalese. You're not even brothers and sisters, bro. Stop. It's crazy. It's crazy. Africa is extremely delineated, like 400 tribes in Nigeria. What do they call that? They need to cut their delineation down, to be honest. They're too delineated. They need to become Nigerians. They're not even Nigerians. They're not Nigerians. They're not Ethiopians. That's a whole nother story for another day. Imagine somebody saying we're too divisive and you're not even Ethiopians. So you're not Africans. You're from all these different countries. Then when you go to the countries, you're not the country. You're from all these different tribes. So you're delineated, and delineated to the fourth power. We're just delineated once. We're just foundational Black Americans. The feeling to be disregarded. Yes, because you've disregarded us. You've came into our territory. This is what Africans did. Africans came to the United States. Because it's majority white, they put the white man over their black brother. Right? They put the white man over us and they played us like we nobody. Africans have been not good brothers and sisters at all. They've been horrible. Okay. And Africans are the most black people in the world and represent the most division in the world. And no black people in the world benefit from Africans. And there's a billion Africans, and they have done nothing for not one black group in the world. They haven't done anything for Jamaica, Trinidad, nothing. How, G Rod, do you all have the most black people and you're worthless? Basically. Well, one thing is Africans ain't a group, and that's the problem. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. You're all good. You don't have to apologize, but I'm just breaking it down. You got a billion blacks. We got 50 million. It's a damn shame when a billion blacks are complaining about 50 million blacks and the billion ain't even one thing. At least we're all foundational black Americans or black Americans. And so to see Africans upset about delineation is unbelievable. Like they are the extreme example of delineation. And basically didn't do a good job. Black immigrants did a horrible job in the United States. It is what it is. All of you. All black immigrants, when they came to the United States, have failed tremendously. The Jamaicans failed, the Trinidadians, all the different Africans failed us. They never came in and loved us. I don't remember getting no love from no uh, black immigrants like that. Imagine coming into somebody else's territory where we're struggling and we're the ones that were slaves here. We're coming from under a horrible oppression, hundreds of years of slavery. Nobody came to help us. Who? Who came? Who came? Who came to fight for us to help us get out of slavery? Nobody showed up. And Africans, West Africans, were highly responsible for slavery. Imagine selling your brothers and sisters, and then they become a nation and they identified as black Americans, and then you hate the people that you sold. West Africans can't say a goddamn thing. They the slave seller. Imagine West Africans talking shit with their history of selling their own West Africans into slavery. Africans is crazy. Some people would say Africans had a major part in causing this division by selling their own brothers. How's this a black people that sold their people to the Spanish and the Portuguese say anything about anybody? Technically, we really could have took revenge for that act. To be honest with you, I mean, should we like Africans at all? Considering what our ancestors been through at the hands of Africans? I'm just saying. What is there about West Africans we should like? Them the slave sellers. So the audacity of West Africans to even just open their mouth just shows you, can we really work with them? Because all a West African can do for us is apologize, and they owe us reparations too, to be honest with you. West Africans are slave drivers, slave sellers. How many slave castles they got in West Africa? So the point is, can we trust? Jamaicans say the same dog that'll bite you in the morning will bite you in the evening. Can we even trust West Africans? I'm just saying. Look, there are around 40 to 50 historical slave castles, forts, and large fortified commercial trading posts scattered along the coast of West Africa. The vast majority of these surviving permanent stone structures are located along 300-mile stretch of coastline in Ghana, formerly known as the Gold Coast, while many temporary wooden structures called barracoons were built across parts of West Africa. They did not survive. Look, the guy Nance talking about the year of return. Look, Senegal, Dakar, Gambia, Sierra Leone. Imagine that. Unbelievable. Imagine people being sold from West Africa, survived, do well, and then the West Africans come over here after the fact of the matter. Oh, they made it. Oh, they made it. We go America. Like, seriously. Like, that's basically how that played out. Oh, they made it. Oh, we go now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, while you in slavery, they don't show up. And as soon as you make it, and then they pop up. I'm just saying. So G Rod, tell your friends Big Pharaoh said they descendants of slave sellers. We really should hit you. You know, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? They bogus as hell. Come on. Like what? What the hell? Mm-mm-mm-mm. And so a lot of people say FBA is this, FBA is that. So I want to clarify that. Delineation does not mean hate. Okay? Delineation does not mean hate. Black people in these times don't like Africa, not Africans, but not because delineation, because Africans overall are assholes. Look, I tell this all the time. When I used to drive Uber and I'd pull in front of these nice hotels, they would always have African doormen, right? That Africans don't see, that America was boying them, right? Making them a boy, treating them the same way they treat them in Africa. So the Africans come to America to be a doorman for the white man, right? Which is an insult, right? So just check this out. Check the demand, the dynamic, y'all. When I pulled up, right, in front of these hotels, he said, "Do people in black people in Chicago get along?" No, we're just running around chucking spears at each other. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You think black people just run around Chicago fighting? Black people go to work, raise their children, got jobs, and get along. People mind their own business. So what do you mean by get along? You mean when my neighbor comes home and goes and cooks and be with his wife and the other neighbor and the other neighbor? Do you make any sense? So you're saying in black communities, black people is outside running up and down the block arguing? Where are you from? You must be an insurgent. You ain't no black American. And you sound stupid. It's just like, bruh, people have to go to work every day. Black Americans are, blacks in Chicago are police officers, firemen. What are you talking about? What do you think? How do you think black Americans pay their bills, bro? Seriously, I'm asking you a serious question. You don't think black Americans got children? You don't think they go to school? You don't think blacks in Chicago go to school? You don't think blacks on the fire department? You don't think blacks is on the city council? So blacks is downtown the city council fighting blacks is down. Where you from? The backwoods? What are you talking about? What do you mean get along? People don't get along. People mind their own business. What do you mean get along? So where you live at, y'all wake up in the morning and do what? You don't just go to work. What are you talking about? You see the stupid questions? Do black people in Chicago get along? This is the type of stuff. This is the type of stuff where, yeah, deport, get them out, get out. Look at it. Look at that question. Look at the less. Look at the lack of intelligence in that question. As if you could be fighting and pay your bills, pay your mortgage, pay your rent. Pay. Let me ask you something. Do black people pay rent, mortgage, car notes, electric bills, phone bills? And can I get paid running around arguing all day? I think people work 9 to 5s. Let me ask you something. Do black people work in Chicago, work 9 to 5s? Why you don't ask Haitians that? Haitians are one raggedy. Why don't you ask Africans that? Why don't you ask South Africans, do they get along? They just had xenophobia. This the type of stuff we go through, G Rod. We sick of it. Now, wherever he from, we want all of him and his people the hell out of here. We really sick of you other blacks. Seriously. Your stereotypes, your negativity that you bring from your own homeland, the way you look down on us. Because this fool don't even know Chicago is a big major city. He's talking about Chicago like Chicago is Haiti. Totally unintelligent. Ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? That's like going to Denver and seeing a black man unalive his wife and then say, do black people get along because you had an unaliving with a couple, which happens all over the world with whites, Hispanics, everybody, right? Have incidences. And then this person puts singular incidences on the whole black people in Chicago. This the type of stuff we don't want people like that over here. We want you to go home. Worry about wherever you from. Okay? Let me ban you. All right? He said Black Americans loved the Wakanda movie and Woman King celebrated the so-called enslavers. That scene, I don't know who you is. So when you got just a bicycle there and I don't know who you are, I can't take your comments serious. When you hide and I don't know who you are, I have to see if you're a loser or who you are. What's the purpose of your comment? As far as Black Americans, the term would be some Black Americans enjoyed a movie, and I don't think Black people celebrated the enslavers. I think they just enjoyed the movie. So the way you're framing that, these is the things you see, Gio. I don't know if you see this. He's saying because some people went and enjoyed a movie, that some kind of way got to do with cheering on slave owners. But he probably watched soccer, and the Spanish was enslavers. And look how many Black immigrants watch soccer. And the British and cheer. You understand? Right. But if he's a Black immigrant, he watches soccer. And soccer represent whole countries that enslaved people. The French, the British, Spain, Portugal. And Africans love soccer. And go play soccer and they throw banana peels out there and make monkey sounds. This is what I'm saying. This over picking on foundational Black Americans. And then putting your own people in danger. Because, like, what happens if we really get angry? Do you think about that, Black immigrants? Do you think about what'll happen if you really, really, really get on our nerves? You consider the danger of that? What if you start getting marked out? This why it's best to just leave, because you're not. I don't feel Black immigrants are really cut out for America. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they have the mentality where they come from with the tribalism. I don't see how they could benefit us. I just don't. We're not nothing like any of the other blacks. And I think other blacks around the world don't really know we're the most unique black people on the planet. Our experience has been unique. No, the problem is they don't understand what happens to haters in the US. They don't really understand that, plan and being in the country, it ain't, you know what I'm saying? What's going to happen, G Rob, when the shorties pick up on that hate? See, this is what I say. Africans and Caribbeans, they ain't the brightest bulbs in the lamp. You know what's going to happen? Look at it like this. Let's say I had a couple teenage sons here, and they constantly seen black immigrants with disparaging comments, right? But you on their turf though. It's one thing to have disparaging comments about somebody else, but we on our turf, you can't do nothing about it. But then on the other hand, the people that's on that turf So that's like foundational black Americans in Africa being disrespectful, put foundational black Americans in Africa in harm's way. Well, that works the other way. Africans is all on the internet being belligerent with all these Africans here, like a million. That's just not smart. And it's horrible because the Africans are supposed to be the big homies. And so when you see Africans going when you see Africans going tit for tat with other blacks, when the Africans supposed to be dominant, it's a disgrace. If anybody's supposed to be pushing the unity, it's supposed to be the most blacks. But the most blacks are the biggest losers. The brothers and sisters from Africa are the worst examples of black people on the planet. They're a horrible example. They don't even get along. They can't control none of their natural resources or nothing. We don't have natural resources. We are surviving in a foreign land. Some people say we've been here, but America is not as big as Africa. You could fit America and Africa how many times? And so you got this big continent with all these resources that the black people control none. And they enter these petty conversations. They consider themselves as tribes, but my point is, do they consider themselves sitting on natural resources and getting robbed? Because the people that's getting robbed the most in the world is Africans. Africans are the biggest suckers in the world. They are the ones being looted for all those natural resources and never really focus on that. The very militaries that control them with their natural resources. Imagine somebody come and take your natural resources and come back and destroy you with your own stuff. And while you're on the internet trolling like black Americans. Just let that sink. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to tell you. And now you don't want, like, seriously, I don't think it's beneficial for black Americans to have a bunch of Africans over here. I really don't. I don't see any plus. And many African countries feel the same way. Seriously. Look, imagine an African running over here when they got all the wealth right there and they letting foreigners take all the wealth and they running over here talking crazy to me. But in Africa, you're a punk. You don't control. You're in the richest continent in the world and you broke running all around the world. Well, why we ain't in Africa? Why we ain't in Africa? Somebody is a sellout. Let's say we West Africa. Why we ain't in Africa? Somebody's a sellout. And why is you trolling? Okay, listen, come back tomorrow and grow up. We don't do trolls like your mother never taught you no respect or nothing. How old are you? You're a grown ass man. Act like it. You see what I'm saying? So you broke, running from country to country, on the internet talking crazy, but you're the one sitting on all the wealth. And you focus on everything but your own wealth in your own continent. You all the way in Africa focusing on FBA. You ain't focusing on the Portuguese, the Spanish, the Russians, the Germans, the British are stealing everything you got. You worrying about delineation. See, this is what, you know what I'm saying? You understand? Okay, so let it go, all right? You're talking to the wrong one. It's Big Pharaoh. Okay, we already know that. All right? Thank you very much. All right? I don't know what you're talking about, and I don't know how you got Malcolm X in a yellow smiley face, but you're trolling, okay? You ain't bringing nothing to the table. Stop trolling, okay? You's a grown ass man. Stop using Malcolm's face if you ain't representing no type of dignity. Malcolm is not to be used to troll, okay? So he just saying anything. Yeah, I'll unban him later. And so these are the type of things we got to deal with. And so that's where the hate come from. The hate doesn't come from delineation. The hate come from black immigrants that jump in our business, right? And troll us while we doing our delineation. And that's when we start disrespecting. And let's just get the story straight. When we decided we was foundational black Americans, we want to delineate. Brothers and sisters, mainly from Africa, started trolling. Of course, we had to start disrespecting you. Then you wanted to make it like delineation and being FBA is disrespect. But no, the disrespect come from you being disrespectful, getting in our business, not supporting us, and trolling us about our business. See, Africans need to shut up and mind their African business. That's what Africans need to do. Africans are in no position to mind nobody business but African business. Nigerians need to go fix Nigeria and worry about Nigerian business. Okay? That's what they need to do. They should not even be in our business, especially no immigrant, nobody that had to run from their country. Because Africans, y'all runners. You're not like Big Pharaoh. You run, you run. You don't stay in your country and fix your country. You run. You're all over Europe. You're all over the world. Africans. Everywhere. Name a country Africans then ran to. You didn't come to America. You ran to America because your country sucks. Basically, your country is no good. Africa is a failing black continent controlled by Arabs and Europeans and Asians. The black African does not control Africa. The black male African is a boy in Africa in every sense of the word. Even a revolutionaries is always shaking the leader of China's hand or shaking Putin's hand. basically the leadership in a black continent, on a black continent, in a black country. And so to me, you know, they're just very disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? To me. You know, finish smiling and grinning with your master and don't worry about what we doing. All right. And so delineation is basically Africa, basically. If you got 400 tribes in Nigeria, what do you call that? So it's just crazy watching delineated people complain about delineation. It's the dumbest shit ever. Like imagine being a Ghanaian or a Nigerian complaining about delineation. Is that kid? It's unbelievable. Imagine being a Jamaican and talk about delineation, but you a Jamaican. You're not a West Indian. You're delineated, right? So here goes the thing for foundational Black American. We can't be debating people that are slow. Stop debating Africans. Obviously, they ain't there. Okay. You know, anytime you see somebody come from a continent with a billion tribes claiming that you represent separation, come on, they riding on the yellow scoop. I mean, let's not waste our time, okay? They're not the brightest bulbs in the lab. You know what I mean? It's a billion tribes in Africa. The FBA should not have to talk to Africans about division. Okay, like Africans talking about division is basically trolling. They're just trolling and showing a high lack of intelligence, okay, to distract us from our unity and what we have to do. And so, what you all have to do is block them out of your social media unless we, hopefully ICE get them out the country. But in the meantime, get them out your social media. We don't have time. We have our own thing to focus on. We're not going to get reparations arguing with no Africans or no Caribbeans. The purpose of delineation is to identify yourself specifically, and the purpose of identifying yourself specifically is for the purpose of to show you're the ones owed reparations. Arguing with other blacks that are coming into your territory, whether it's physically or on your social media, it's time to deport them in social media. If you can't deport them physically, it's time to block black immigrants out of our social media so us as foundational black Americans can have a conversation without haters and slave sellers, right? Uh, intruding on our conversation that we're having to get ourselves together. because that's all it is. It's people that don't mind their own business. I am not trolling Nigerian content creators or brothers and sisters from Africa's conversations. I'm not, I don't give a damn what they're talking about, but this shows you a lot about Africans. What African is going to get in the foundational Black American conversation rather than get in an African conversation? What African? Like I watch these African brothers that's going to leave a war torn, divided country that's being looted of all its natural resources. Got time to sit around and talk about what we doing. You understand? And the point of loving somebody that ain't here, that I ain't got nothing to do with, and that I can't help is also ridiculous. The point of me loving Jamaicans that's way in Jamaica is like a make believe concept. I can love my wife, I can love my children, I can love my grandparents, I can love some of my friends, but I can't love no people. I don't know you. So the word love, that's going to get misused. Can I love a woman in Denver, Colorado? I don't know right now. No, I don't even know her. You can have respect if you meet them, but there's a song and it goes, "It's so good loving somebody when somebody loves you back," and that's a fact. And black immigrants ain't showing no goddamn love. Somebody that runs to your country for financial benefit is not here to love you. Okay? Jamaicans ran up here for economics. Haitians, all of them are not here to love. They here for economics. All the Africans and all of them. Foundational Black America, these people are not here for love. They here because they come from a failing state, okay? Where they at is they broke, there's not enough opportunity. And they're coming to take opportunity and food out of your mouth, point blank, like that. These are not your friends. They're not here to build with you. They're not here to work with you. They're not here to start businesses with you. They're here to go into these white man businesses and take jobs that we need and not bring nothing back to the table. They're here to take money. Africans are here to get money and mail it to Africa. Period. They send so much money back home. That's what it's about. They're not going to give you a quarter. They're not a part of your social life. And I go for all of them. They have no social love for us. There's nothing socially that foundational Black Americans get from Black immigrants. They do not become a part of our social structure. They remain foreigners separated from us. There is no love there. I've been around Jamaicans a long time. And they don't really like you like that. They'll smile in your face to try to build some kind of fake Rasta culture. But when it really boiled down to it, they don't really mess with you. Not like that. Unless you're buying some herb from them or some kind of way they can get something. They're not really dealing with, they'll sleep with your woman for the point of sex or something. But uh, there's no love and unity there. Delineation has nothing to do with their behavior, and this is where they mixing it up. Delineation is for us to describe ourselves distinctly, mainly lineage, lineation, lineage. To get reparation, you have to be the one that was a slave, right? To get reparation. And if you're not the one that was a slave, you can't get paid for slavery. And so the reason nobody knows what FBA is dealing with is because black immigrants, haters, have jumped in our conversation, created arguments so that they can paint foundational black Americans and their delineation based on arguments that they're the ones creating. We can't argue with no black immigrants unless they get in our business. I can't argue with no black immigrant unless they come over and get in my chat. You understand? So this is why they want to say now FBA is negative, because what they trying to do is create it as negative by jumping in our business and starting arguments and then turn around and try to say it's us. But how is it us? Where do we get somebody to argue with from? That's my question. If we disrespecting people, where'd they come from? Why are they in our circle to get disrespected? They're running a disinformation campaign against us, which eventually is going to go outside. This the part they don't understand. This is why Africans getting chased out of other countries in Africa, because they be overstepping their bounds in other people's countries. That's what they do. They become like a mosquito or a bloodsucker. They become an irritant. This is what's going on in South Africa right now. They go, they disrupt your whole social, and they speak against you on your turf. And you have Africans and Caribbeans in the United States speaking against FBA on our turf. Facts. Come all the way from Haiti here speaking on us. And they get mad. We want you deported because we don't even want to talk to you. We don't want to talk to you. And we don't want to debate you in our turf on our social media in our world. Go in your own damn world, basically. Now, what kind of black man go to somebody else's country or go in somebody else's business and troll them in their own country? Right? What kind of people do that? Why would I get up this morning and go in a conversation to some Africans is having and intrude into their conversation? What kind of grown, mature man do that? Why would I troll around looking for some Nigerian conversation or some Ghanaian conversation and then join the live stream to let them know how much I don't like them and ask them all kind of stupid questions about Ghana and Nigeria? You see what I'm saying? So on levels of maturity, these are very immature people too. You see, our situation being here, coming up during slavery and Jim Crow, it took a certain amount of maturity for us to get where we got. Seriously. We didn't get here by being, our ancestors didn't get here by being stupid. We don't work in all these hospitals. We don't work in all these occupations in the United States from being stupid. We not we don't have a value of $2.1 trillion because we stupid. Foundational black Americans are richer than any country in Africa. Nigeria got 200 million blacks, and we worth more money than them, 50 million. 50 million black Americans got a higher net worth than 200 million Nigerians. And Africans are sitting on natural resources and they broke it in us. So how is you sitting on gold and diamonds and you got less money than foundational black Americans? That show you that these ain't people, they ain't, you know what I'm saying? How is you in my chat while people stealing all your natural resources? Like, let's be realistic. Don't you got bigger fish to fry? You didn't ranch your ass and left the natural resources and run over here. Talking about you looking for opportunity and you sitting on the richest continent in the world. Let that sink in. Now, what kind of strong man is that? Right? Just let it sink in that black men sitting on the richest continent in the world is leaving. Just let that sink in. Why would you escape the riches? Now, y'all comprehending what I'm saying? Why would you leave all of this natural resource and run to America for a job? And America's taking your resources and paying you pennies. Make it make some sense. You come all the way from Africa here to get a job. And your job is surviving off of your continent, right? Real talk. And the European you come over here to work for, all his money come from you where you from your homeland. All his oil, all his cotton. You come over here, you buy a car from the European that was built with your iron ore that they take it for $200 a lump, right? And you looking for a better opportunity. And the opportunity you look for is built off of your natural resources that they stole from you. This is Africans. Africans are sitting on all the natural resources. They let the European come steal their natural resources and create jobs. And then they go work for the man that stole their resources at a damn job. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. You got all the wealth. You got the most wealth in the world. You let somebody come steal that. Send that to their country. Send that to Europe. Send that to America. Then create big time $1 billion businesses that trickle down to small businesses. Then you bring your black ass over here and work for one of the small businesses that's paying you pennies that's earned from your natural resources. Like you come over here to work in the medical field, and the medical field is built with all your natural resources. Without these natural resources, there is no medical supplies. There is nothing. Without your cotton. And then you come over here and you work and you go buy a cup of coffee from Africa. You know what I'm saying? You go to Starbucks like a loser. The Starbucks over there stealing all your coffee. You come over here and get a job and you go to Starbucks and buy you a cup of your own African coffee. Working at jobs that's built off of your continent like a sucker and like a loser. And then you get on the internet and want to argue with me and you're a fucking loser. that ran and left all the natural resources. You ran like a little B word and left all the natural resources. And then you want to come to a small place like the United States, where there's only 50 million black Americans, and talk crazy to just the 50 million, and it's a billion Africans. Imagine Africans arguing with a group of people that are only 50 million, it's a billion of them. It's a billion of them got 2,000 tribes, and you in my live stream talking to me on the internet that's built with your stolen shit. Because this whole internet is built with your stolen stuff. Haitians too. They stealing all of your natural resources in Haiti. Jamaicans too. You in Jamaica thirsty, broke, coming up here drinking your pineapple juice, your coconuts, running your goddamn mouth with the realest black gangsters on the planet too. Y'all little baby fool. Y'all ain't really even. And then only you talk about that, you Africans and Caribbeans and stuff, when they're on some gangster stuff, y'all itty bitty. Y'all ain't even built like that. Militarily or nothing. The 50 million is a stronger fighting machine than the whole Africa. On my soul. That Nigerian schmeary. We go to Nigeria and clean it out. They're not built like that. They not. Africans ain't built like that. Africans ain't trained fighting machines like that. They new to war. We the Revolutionary Civil War, World War One, World War Two, Vietnam, Desert Storm, name it. We really locked and loaded. You ever seen the African military? Them dudes don't look like F troop. They ain't built like that. A black man over there telling them what to do. Foundation for Black American is their military leader. On my soul. I ain't lying. Man, listen. Africom is over there running West Africa. On my soul. They get out of line, they're going to send Americans over there. Look, Africa's bought and paid for. They don't control no military over there. Yeah, good luck. Come back tomorrow. Go get another page and come back. You keep making pages and you keep coming back, okay? Make about 5 more pages and come back. And good luck. That's why Ghana keep begging us to come over there. Nobody want to go to Ghana. You know what I'm saying? And so this, why am I saying all that? Because this is how they pretend delineation is hate, because they come into our conversation, start arguments, and then turn around like my man Gosha said, and doing a disinformation campaign by coming into our conversations, starting arguments. Then they turn around and say FBA represent hate. But that's really black immigrants pushing the hate. That ain't even really hate. That's not really hate. In Chicago, if we hated you, you know how that would go. This ain't South Africa. So we don't hate you. We don't hate Africans. We gangbang here. If we hated Africans, you would know. I'm going to just keep it a billion. I don't promote no hate. I don't promote no violence. But you Africans, stop with the fake hate. We ain't laying y'all down. I'm speaking for foundational Black Americans. When we hate people, we lay them down. I this big furrow, I got to come with the honesty. Everybody else playing. Okay? In Chicago, if we hate you, we would lay you down. We would not be on the internet. So y'all stop lying, talk about hate. Nobody hates you. Stop with that. If we hate you, we know it. This is not South Africa. It would be far worse than the xenophobia in South Africa. I'm just telling you. I talked to my brethren. I got some brethren from Ghana, and I talked to them about it. I try to tell them, man, tell your people stop playing like that. Stop making it like it's some hate, for it really turned into hate. And they're gonna lay y'all down. Then nobody ain't gonna get on no internet. You're gonna be an op. What? Like, stop. Stop trying to pin hate and stuff on foundational Black Americans. FBA and delineation ain't got nothing to do with hate. When Black Americans hate you, we don't type, okay? We not gonna be typing. Stop with that. And then you're trying to make us look soft, like we just on the internet. We don't do the internet when we really hate you. We're not getting on no damn internet. Stop with that. This just show you Black immigrants don't know a damn thing about FBA. They don't know nothing about our culture. We don't really play like that if you go too far. It ain't gonna go down like in South Africa. That's baby, that's child's play. Trying to take somebody hate you. Won't even know you like that. Ain't nobody looking for you. In America, when we hate you, we look for you. We'll hunt you. And this is anti-hate. I'm saying it's not hate. I'm not promoting hate. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not promoting hate no Africans. Foundational Black Americans, if we promoted hating you, it would be outside and it would really be for real. It would not be no internet discussions. You're disrespecting even when you say we hating. This is what Black immigrants, they say we they brothers, sisters. You don't even know me. You don't know nothing about us. We do not, a Black Foundation Black Americans, we do not do verbal hate. We gang bang. That's what we do. We gang bang. We mark you out. We ain't doing all that. Delineation ain't that. What delineation ain't got nothing to do with hate. This is why black immigrants, they just don't fit in over here. They just, I don't see where they no good for us. That's why I was telling my friends. They say it's like that. I said, man, I don't see any benefit from you being over here. From the point of view of foundational black Americans, a black person that come over here that don't get into economic war with us need to go home. We got enough problems dealing with white America. We don't need no, we don't need the other black people. We really want y'all to leave. We really want y'all to get deported and leave. Cause we already in a battle over here. And now here you come, distracting us. Like we is really battling for our survival over here. And we don't need nobody look like us coming over here. You just in the way. We've been over here fighting racism for your monkey ass came over here. And now you ain't come join the fight. We want you to get the hell out of here. That's why we want black immigrants deported. Because you're disturbing our battle. We're already in an economic battle. We're already in an educational battle. Any black that don't come and help that battle need to get the fuck out of here. You in the way. We don't really play like that. Unlike the troll that he come over, he cannot walk up on me on the streets of Chicago playing like that. I'm gonna tell him one time to get lost. So we don't even match. Like we don't even got the same energy. Y'all think I would play with one of these trolls? We ain't the same. It don't matter if we look the same. What matters is, do you look the same to me? And if you don't look the same as me to me, that's what matters. It ain't no what the other side think. It's what we think. If we don't like you, get out. It don't worry about the other side. When you come to foundational black American turf, we the one better like you. And if we don't like you and we don't feel you benefit us and we don't feel like you helping us, we want you deported. Because you might look the same to them, but to us you look like an op. And that's what matters. You understand, Swan Nation? What's going to matter when I see you in the streets is how you look to me on whether you could walk these streets. That's what going to make the difference in your life. Because they're not letting you go and be around them anyway. And we don't want no insurgents. We don't need no coons over here, no African or no Caribbean coons over here. Period. Because they're going to use you against us. And this is why there's a beef between the FBI and black immigrants. They'll use you, they'll take a black immigrant and put them in a movie and pay them less. So they don't gotta pay us. And they'll take it. They won't be like, no, you're trying to undercut my brother and my sister. They won't do that. They'll undercut us. We got great actors that built up their status up here. And rather than pay them like the white actors, they'll bring in a Sambo from Africa and pay them less. Basically. They'll bring in a Sambo from Africa or from the Caribbean and underpay him. And he'd be like, thank you, boss. Thank you, boss. I appreciate this, boss. I'm in the movie playing black Americans, right? I'm in the movie playing black Americans, right? I'm in the movie playing black American, right? and undercut the black artists that been working doing movies before they even let you in the country. Before they even let you in the country, we've been working hard to build up our status for our actors to make more money and to get more money. And we competing with white America. Black immigrants competing with us. That's why we don't like you. We, foundational black Americans, we are competing with white Americans. This is white America. This is us. This is the black immigrants. Cowards. They won't come and compete against the Europeans like us. They come under here competing against us, messing up what we doing. We battling against white America. We competing against white America. We competing in jobs against white America. We competing in prestige, wealth, economics against white America. Black immigrants ain't competing against white America. They sellouts. They competing against us. What part that you understand? Africans is sellouts. They undercut what they black. I am your brother. No, you're not my brother. You come over here, you undercut me. You come over here, you work for less. You come over here smiling and grinning. Oh, black and they do it around whites. Black Africans be at these jobs talking bad about black Americans. I'm telling you what I know. Oh, these black Americans, they don't want to work. Oh, they say that. They say that to the Europeans. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, black Africans talk down on black Americans around whites, Asians, and all of them. I'm telling you, that's what they do. They go in front of them people and they talk down on us. I'm telling you what I know. This is what they do. Oh, they don't do this. They don't do this like we do. We Nigerian, we do with that. Go in the hospitals, go in the medical, and look at the African ones. And look how they look at you. And look how they look at everybody, the whites. Yes, they disrupted. Yes, they disrupted the economic civil rights fight. We start, yes. And they sellouts. I told you when I pull up to the hotel, the African come out, what are you doing here? With a big Uber sticker on my car. And then when the whites will come out, let me get your bags. Oh, you should see how they smile when the white tourists come out. But you should see the disdain with me. And I'm looking at you, giving you a pass. Boy, you in Chicago. Do I go and apply pressure? No. I'd be like, all right, they black. But I could go back to the hood. I could come back down there and apply pressure. But I never did. I never applied pressure to the African brothers and sisters. I could have, though. I could have applied pressure. And any pressure happen at that job, they're going to fire you. That's how stupid they are. Because if you bring smoke to this job, they're going to say, Mobutu, we got to let you go. Now, we can't beef with the black Americans. I'm sorry. They don't like you. They done came up here with the rah-rah. You got to go. What did you do? That's what the whites going to ask you. Tell me you're not here aggravating these black Americans. See, Africans is slow. They don't know if they irritate us. The white man going to throw them out. Like he's doing. They don't know that one reason, Haitians don't know one reason Trump throwing them out, because they see you done irritated foundational black Americans. They be watching. Africans and Haitians and black immigrants are slow. They come into a country with a strong black population. And because they black, white Americans feel like they got backup. And Africans and black Caribbeans, they go to the white man. No, we don't have no black backup. We don't like black Americans. Oh, you don't got no backup? Let me get this straight. So if we do you dirty, black Americans ain't gonna do nothing. Oh, get your bitch ass out of here. Oh, we thought the black Americans was gonna bag your whole ass up. Real talk. I'm telling you, why you think Trump throwing them out? Because they let Trump know they don't got no backup. You know how stupid that is? Instead of them being like, oh, the black Americans back us up. No. See, you got to understand foundational black Americans. Other blacks, they don't know the white man like us. We know them the best. We know everything about them. They don't. They primitive. They don't know how this shit go. You understand? They don't know. See, we know if we go to Africa, we can't let the European that run that little area and them hotels know we don't mess with the Africans. We can't do that. We know that. We know once we let the European know we don't mess with the Africans, we know he all about divide and conquer. They don't know that. They don't know that if you come here and you let him know you don't mess with the black people here, he gonna do you dirty because you don't got no backup. Oh, you don't got no backup, huh? So let me get this straight. You don't like black Americans. Do they like you? They don't like you? Okay, deport his ass. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Look right now. They could throw every African and Haitian out. FBA, what we gonna do? Cheer. Yay! We can't wait till they throw y'all out. And Trump know it. Trump know it. They don't understand. They don't understand. He gonna throw them all out. He gonna deport a bunch of them. And then another Republican gonna get in there, and the place gonna be quiet because we ain't voting for no Democrats. Because the foreigners trying to take over the Democratic Party and turn this country to a third world country. Yeah, I'd rather vote for the white people. I ain't voting Democrat no more. I rather we have come up under white people and have done fine. We ain't gonna do so good under immigrants. Immigrants will turn America to a third world country. It'll be a shithole. I ain't pushing no racism or nothing. I'm just saying they ain't got the principles to keep the country running the way it is. They got so much love for immigration that they won't make good decisions. They'll bring in too many people that ain't on the same professional level. The borders will be wide open. It'll be all type of kidnappings. It'll be all kind of people snatched and take back across the border. The standard of living will go down. They'll have people driving big rigs that don't even speak English, like they had all these Hispanics driving trucks on the highway that couldn't even read English. They was having all kind of accidents. How you let dude drive a big rig and he can't speak English, he can't read English, and he on the road? How I gotta know how to speak Spanish to get a job in the United States? They really think white people gonna accept having to learn Spanish to get a job in Florida? Nobody ain't gonna be trying to learn Spanish in no English speaking country. You gotta learn English. I don't gotta learn how to talk to you in my country. You gotta learn how to talk to me. So we definitely going red. We voting red 100%. We don't want no Democrats in here. We don't. I don't give a damn if the Republican Party run this country for the next 8 years. Yeah, to go back to the 1700s. Yes, Yeah, yeah, they got to go. I want it quiet on my live stream. They join a live stream from Africa because there ain't no benefit to us. You're not a friend. You're opposition, but that got nothing to do with delineation. Delineation ain't got nothing to do with hate. Delineation and FBA do not represent hate. Black immigrants represent hate. And then when they get the hate in return, they try to pretend FBA is the haters. They try to pretend delineation mean hate. How some people that really don't deal with us, that have got all kind of names for us, that come to the country, stay separated from us, stay off to themselves, how they gonna say that we represent hate when they whole country represent hate? That's one reason they left. Seriously. The whole situation is hate. The whole Africa represent tribalism and hate. Imagine an African saying delineation means hate, and they from Africa, where they don't like no Africans. They don't like no, you know what I'm saying? Let's let that sink in. How somebody come from Africa where Africans hate Africans and come over here and say we represent hate because we don't want to deal with you because you a hater. Like Africans are the extreme haters. They the most hateful people on the planet. Europe ain't got all them different tribes and dialects and shit. Africa is the most divisive landmass in the world. Total tribalism, where they let the system push tribalism so they could rob them. Right? They split them up, confused them, turned them all against each other so that they could be robbed. While they down there in South Africa dealing with xenophobia, what is the powers that be doing? Down there taking that gold, taking that copper, taking them diamonds. Am I lying? Am I lying? While they in South Africa, the Zulu against this one, chasing out Nigerians, chasing out Ghanaians that came down there with no respect for their South African brothers and sisters. Africans are notorious for not even respecting Africans. It's safe to say Africans are the most disrespectful people on the planet. They do not even respect their African neighbors. Think about it. And why they go down there and disrespect each other, the powers that be has taken everything they got. Yeah, yeah, y'all fight, carry on, fight. They somewhere. Hey, look, let me teach y'all a game. This is how it go. If I go to Africa, right, you're gonna take a plane, maybe from New York. It's gonna fly to Africa. It's gonna land at an airport, right? Gonna get off the airport. You're gonna go into where all the losers is at, right? Right? You're gonna go to where the losers is at, right? But the white man, he gonna fly into the airport. Then he get in another cargo plane. And the cargo plane flies you to where the mines is at, right? You don't go on United or American. No, where the wealth is at You get on a cargo plane, you get on a small. You ever seen when they be showing them safaris and stuff to go show you the zebras? Them white men be on small planes and fly into the interior, right? So where they stealing at, commercial planes don't go where they stealing, right? So therefore, the Africans can't see where they being robbed at. They keep them in them little cities, right? But they out there robbing them, right? They don't get to see the robbery unless you the people that work in the mine. Now, if you work in the mine, you see the robbery, but they don't show tourists or nothing where the natural resources being shipped out from, right? So you got one Africa over here where they live and they argue and they tribal. Then you got this Africa here where all this stuff is at, and they just shipping that out. No, no, don't worry. Y'all go ahead, be Watusi. Y'all go ahead, be Zulu. Go ahead. No, 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 don't pay no attention over here. And then on the outskirts, they robbing them blind. Straight up. Why they distracted with foolishness. Straight up. This is how they do it. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. So when when people come over here and they bring all that, you black Americans this, you black Americans that, that's a plot to try to get us into what how they doing them over there. You understand? So when you see these Africans and stuff want to come argue with us and all that, that's a plot. That's a plot to try to do us like they do them. They keep them distracted with tribal war. Some of these Africans that's coming over here, they ain't really Africans. They could be government agents. They use Africans to distract black people. That's what they do. Meanwhile, they over there, this what they doing. Slaves over in Africa digging up natural resources for their European daddy, for their Chinese daddy. Now imagine an African over there like that, digging up natural resources, getting on the internet talking to me. You understand? You understand? What's your point? You trolling? What's your point? Oh, okay. He steals colonial items from the U.S. and returns them to the motherland. Okay, that's a movie though. I don't really care nothing about no movie. I don't, that's a movie. But I get what you're trying to say. But this is what's going on over there. This is what they doing. You understand? So when people say, "Oh, you pushing hate," no, there's people coming into our conversations trying to have arguments, trying to promote division while we trying to get reparations. You never see black immigrants speak up for our reparations. They only come with distractions and arguments, like they slow or something, right? You think about it. You got foundational black Americans, you got delineation, and you got reparations. Why black immigrants never speak on reparations? They only speak on foundational black Americans and delineation. They never speak on reparations. Why? Why do they intentionally avoid the conversation of reparations? Why they act like delineation is needed to prove that you're the one that's supposed to get reparations? Why don't our brothers and sisters from Africa and the Caribbean ever speak up on our reparations? Why are they focusing on delineation? Why are they misteaching that in order to get reparations, you have to be delineated? You have to prove that you're the ones that get reparations. And to prove you're the ones that get reparations, you must delineate. So why are they pretending that delineation is not to prove that you're the ones that picked the cotton? Why? Are they really slow? Or are they agents of chaos trying to misrepresent that foundational black Americans calls for reparation? You never see Africans speak up for reparations. They concentrate on delineation. They never say nothing about reparations. And imagine a West African not speaking up for reparation when the West Africans is the one sold the Europeans as the slaves. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Imagine a West African saying we should delineate when West Africans offered the Portuguese slaves, encouraged the Portuguese to take slaves. And then when the Portuguese could sell them, the Portuguese came back and said, you got some more, you got some more. And after they kept selling their own people, got some more, the Portuguese went and said, we just go take them. So one day the Portuguese came, put the guns on them and said, shut your ass up and just start taking slaves. Just took some of them into slavery, flipped it on them, came in and gangstered them. That's why they don't tell that story. How the Spanish and the Portuguese punked the West Africans after they West Africans sold their own people and came and just started taking them. One day the ships pull up, it was full of military. It wasn't just no slave traders. Yeah. One day the ships pull up and they looked out there and there wasn't no 3 ships trying to get no slaves. It was 50 ships. Why they don't tell that? Why the West Africans don't tell? They sold their own people to a couple of ships of Portuguese and looked up one day as 50 ships. Looked up another day. It was 50 ships. So the Spanish said, oh, the Portuguese making money. We want some of this money. And the Spanish and the British and everybody came and punked them and just took the slave and took whatever else. Start taking their natural resources and everything. Shut up, punk. Because you think a man going to respect you from a different country when he see you disrespect your own tribe and your own people? That's why Africa ain't got no respect, because they let the world see they hate Africa. Europe ain't doing that. Europe, they had the Berlin Conference and say, hey, we're going to have to work together to rob these Africans. And they made that peace treaty amongst the whites that we can't be fighting in front of the world no more. Now they call it NATO. Now they call it the United Nations. They got names for it. But they think that they need to stick together and keep the Africans divided because the Africans got the money. So let's keep them divided and let's go in there and let's pimp them and let's make them work for us. So an African gonna come over here and tell me everything, but he ain't gonna say nothing about the Congo, where blacks are the ones that's patrolling these people. You do know that. It's black soldiers surrounded this mine, making sure they work. You know it's Africans making these Africans work, right? It ain't no white man or no Asian over there. It's black Africans with military weapons that's forcing these people to work. You know that, right? You know that, right? You know that, right? You know the Africans are still enslaving Africans. I'm just saying. And these people that's trolling FBA, they ain't gonna troll this. They ain't got nothing to say about this. So they intentionally trying to make delineation be hate. Delineation ain't got nothing to do with hate. Delineation, how that got something to do with hate? The act of describing something precisely. What that got to do with hate? What do us describing ourselves precisely got to do with hate? Nothing. I had a Moore come earlier this morning talking about y'all this. He think FBA is a y'all. Not to mention some of these people slow. They believe that FBA is a y'all. They think FBA is like Hebrew Israelites or Moors. That's what they think. They think Foundational Black Americans is a group. Now, if you think Foundational Black Americans is a group, why would I even talk to you? Come on. They think, some of these people think that Foundational Black Americans is a group. You can't make this up. They think we're a group. Listen, when somebody talk to y'all like we're a group, do not talk to them. Okay? They are slow. Okay? If they think this is a group, do not talk to them. Do not waste your time. They slow. They got to go pick up a book. Don't talk to them. I had a dude, he thought FBA was a group. He was a Moor. He said, y'all this and that. So I'm like, who the hell is y'all? He said, y'all. He think FBA is a y'all. He think FBA is a y'all. Like the Moors. You can't make this up. He said he was a Moor. I said, you know what you need to be is you need to be not stupid no more. That's what you need to do. You need to not be stupid no more. Because you ain't the smartest Moor in the pile. Because he think Foundation of Black America is a group. Yeah, Goshen, he think we have millions. Hey, Goshen, he think we a group. He say, what y'all doing? He want to know what FBA is doing. He said they be giving food and stuff out. I said, what the hell? Bruh, stop giving out food and go pick up a book and a dictionary. Cause you slow as hell. What kind of food you giving out? You must be giving out pork and beans and Vienna sausages. Cause you, he said, y'all, what y'all be doing? I didn't know what he was talking about at first. I said, y'all, who is y'all? Oh, he think we a group like the Moors. I said, bro, a lot of the Moors is FBA, fool. What the hell? But the Moors is infiltrated with insurgent black immigrants. He said, I'm trying to corrupt the people. He said, I'm trying to corrupt y'all because I'm pushing reparations and foundational black America. See what I'm saying? He said, I'm trying to corrupt the people. You can't make, you can't make this up. His name Bright Knight. He got some old bootleg name. His name Bright Knight. All of them people like that, all them men like that, they be cowards. They never had a real name or nothing. Nobody's really want to debate no coward, bro. Get on here with a real name, a real identity. Nobody want to go back and forth with Bright Knight, okay? And when I see your name Bright Knight, I think turn out the lights and light a candle. Your night too bright. You need to go to bed. Bright night. Your night is too bright. Go your dumb ass to bed. Oh my soul. He said, I'm trying to corrupt. Yeah. You know why they don't like FBA? Because FBA separating themselves. And now all the people that don't mean us no good is standing out. See, they liked it when they can hide and be black. Okay? So FBA is a threat to ops, a threat to people that use black that don't mean us no good. And so now, once we delineate, what they're afraid of is the government delineating us. If the government separate us from other blacks, that's the end of their scamming. That's the end of them being called black and all black people being associated with some loser from Africa or the Caribbean. This is what they're afraid of. They're afraid of being separated where they could be looked at for what they really bring to the table. And so our delineation and separating from other blacks stops them from being able to pose as us. Because you got to understand, black immigrants, they play both sides. One minute they speaking and talking like us when it benefit them. And when it don't benefit them, now you a Nigerian, now you a African, now you a Jamaican. They've been able to flip flop. Also, delineation allows us to check the job market to make sure that we are getting a certain amount of jobs, which is going to take jobs from them, perpetrating that they us getting jobs before the people that's supposed to get the job. A black immigrant is not supposed to get a job before a foundational black American if they got the same skill. You got to pay the people that built the country, the people that been here, the people got the ancestors here. This is what white people saying too. That's why they saying they heritage Americans. You cannot take people that been and they family then paid their dues and fought in all these wars, Revolutionary War, World War One, got blood in the soil. You cannot give nobody a job before them. They got to get the job first, the ones that fought for the country. You can't have my ancestors fought for the country, then you run your goofy ass here and you want the money, but you ain't fought. It's certain benefits that immigrants shouldn't get unless they enlist in the military. I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you ain't willing to fight and defend this country, you don't really deserve no job. Because it wouldn't be no country if it was up to a coward like you. They should be forced to join the military before they are allowed to be citizens. I'm telling you. No immigrant man should be allowed to be a citizen without joining the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines or Coast Guard. You can't get the same benefits as men that's in wheelchairs that got hurt in Vietnam, that got hurt in Iraq, that got hurt in the Desert Storm. How you getting the same as them people that fought for the country, that put the, okay? My daddy served in World War II. My mama worked for Selective Service, the drive board. We got blood in the soil. You can't just fly your ass over here from Africa and get no benefits. You ain't fought for nothing. You ain't fought for this country. You a moocher. How you getting a job before a white man who finally fought for the country, or a black man, or anybody that fought for the country? How you come here from Africa and get it? What you didn't? What you do for the country? Where you eating off the country? What have you done? If it was up to you, it wouldn't even be no country here. And then if we get in a war, why you want somebody to get a job? We get in a war and they run back home. Because all they going to do is run and leave us to do the fighting. They're going to run. They're going to flee. They're going to run back home. Let a serious war break out. All these African men going to run home or run to Europe or run somewhere else and mooch off of another country. I'm going to keep it real. That's what they're going to do. They're going to run and they're going to mooch off another country. That's what they're going to do. And that's not right. That's not right for nobody don't pay no dues and get stuff. That's not right. We need to take care of the people that pay some dues. Seriously. Not nobody that ran. And then I ain't for even trusting nobody that ran from their own country. Somebody that ran from their country, what they gonna do? They gonna run over here too. Here go my daddy stationed in Germany. Facts. The one in the middle. Where your daddy was at? What your daddy did for this country? What your cousins did for this country? What your nieces and nephews did for this country? What you did for this country when it was time to fight? I'm going to keep it real. What you did for the country to even be here. So you let other people fight to keep the country free and keep it here, and you just want to come eat off the plate, eat off the table? You should be to have to did something in this country. You can't just move up in the line like that. You know, Africans running everywhere, living in other people's country that they didn't help build. That's why they beefing in Africa. And then you want to make this hate. This is not hate. This is common sense. This don't mean I hate you. What that got to do with hate? That does not mean nobody hates you. So you telling me if some women say come cook so we can make some dinner, and 3 women come cook the dinner, and one of the women don't want to do it, and when the dinner get ready, they don't want to give her none. You say they hating her? They're not hating us. She didn't want to cook. And if you don't work, you don't eat. How you eat? You don't want to put no work in. Lying, talk about you took fire like me. Us black Americans, we put work in. From babies. We born here. Our parents born here. Our relatives, we from here. Look at black immigrants. You come to Chicago. You walk around free. Whereas me and my OGs, we fought racism for you to walk around. That's another thing about Africa and black immigrants. They didn't fight no racism to walk around here. We fought racism to walk around here. Facts. We fought racism. We fought discrimination. When I went to high school and when I went to 7th, 8th grade, it wasn't sweet like that. And your little African son there go to school and it's all sweet. No, we had the no white dudes was at us. Yeah. Oh yeah. Martin Luther King said Chicago was the most scariest city ever been in Marquette Park. They hit them with bricks and everything. And then you just come in and just get on the bus. You know how much fighting it took to get on the bus? See, Africans, they don't pay no dues, and they don't respect the people pay the dues. That's why we don't get along with Africans. You all up at the hospital, you're an African nurse or whatever, and black people, the only reason you could work in that hospital, and you don't even respect black Americans. Without black Americans, your black ass wouldn't be able to work in that hospital. This is my beef with black immigrants. They don't respect the ones that paved the way for them to come here. That's why they need to be deported. You're not going to come here and not respect our ancestors and our blood in this soil. I'm going to just tell you just like that. Now, you can take it any kind of way you want to take it, but we got blood in the soil here. You just ain't here, just walk around. It ain't sweet like that. People sacrifice for us to be here. And ain't no damn African never showed up to help us none. They stayed they punk ass in Africa and hid. Okay? What Africans came and got in the fight? Africans showed up for us to get on the buses. I'm just saying, an African helped Rosa Parks be able to get on the bus, but you can't get on the plane. That's why I keep saying, if it wasn't for Rosa Parks, you wouldn't be able to get on no plane even come here. You would think that black immigrants that get on planes and come here, one of their biggest heroes would be Rosa Parks. You would think, right? You would think. You would think their biggest hero would be Rosa Parks. You would think they would say, if it wasn't for Rosa Parks, we wouldn't even be allowed to get on a plane. When we get to America, we wouldn't be allowed to get in a cab. We wouldn't be allowed to get on a bus. You would think that without this lady taking that stand, you see that man behind her? He don't want her on the bus. You think they want an African or a Jamaican or a Caribbean on that bus? Seriously. Medgar Evers, people like that, they lost their life for black people to move around here. People went to jail. This lady went to jail for sitting on a bus. You come here from Africa You don't respect this lady. You just get on the plane. You don't know that black Americans is the only reason you could get on a plane and come in. Facts. Without us, Africans would not be able to get on no airline and come to this country and walk around in no airport. That was whites only, the airport. You couldn't be in no airport. And so now they want to say delineation represent hate. How? How? Make that make some sense. Without the civil rights bill, there would be no Africans in this country doing nothing. All you Africans, this the day where you was allowed to walk around here. You see that black man standing behind the president that lost his life, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., that lost his life. Africans don't honor that man. And everything they doing in this country is because of MLK and Rosa Parks and Malcolm X and the Fred Hampton. And Dick Gregory. I can go on and on. Paved the way for you to come here. And then you come. You Americans this, you Americans that, and black America is the only reason and you could come here and get a better life. That's why they got to get out. Because if you had any kind of dignity, if you was any kind of self-respectful African, you would teach that. You would teach that. You would say, come here, son. You see this lady? Without this lady, we could not even sit down in America. If you was a respectful, all Africans, that's why they don't got no respect to me. Because it ain't an African in this country that ain't supposed to have a picture of Rosa Parks in their house and a picture of MLK in their house. Without them, you still be in Africa. Without Malcolm X, without the Black Panthers, you couldn't even come outside. You would get stoned. You couldn't go to use a restroom. You wouldn't be able to even use a restroom. This is where the beef is at. This is where the beef is at. This why Africans ain't fitting here. That's why black immigrants not fitting here. They don't know nothing about none of this. They take all this for granted. So now delineation don't represent hate. It's not about hate. But what do you call your self-respect, your disrespect for history, your disrespect for our fight? What do you call that? Because we don't hate no Africans or nothing like that. We just feel you disrespectful and you don't respect our fight for you to be here. And we are right. You are disrespectful. You don't honor the blood, sweat, and tears that happen for black people to walk around this country. You come after the fight and you got your nose in the air and you don't even make friends with the black people that fought for you to get here. You got all these Africans on the internet with all this disrespect, and we the reason your ass on the internet. Seriously. We the only reason you here. We the only reason you could get on the plane. We the only reason your family could go to a restaurant is because of our suffering. No, it's not about hate. Delineation is about us getting reparations. But our beef is about your disrespect, your lack of history. You don't give us no credit for what we did for you black people all over the world. We did that. We did this. And this what opened up Winnie Mandela and the end apartheid. We did it first. We did it first. So yeah, there's beef. Yeah, we don't. I don't really like how black immigrants function. To me, I don't. I feel like they're disrespectful. I'm gonna keep it real. I was born in 1958. They don't even respect what I went through. You know what I went through? Going to school in the 60s and in the 70s? You got any idea? When my parents took me out of public school and sent me to a Lutheran school, way out on 87 and Kedzie, right on the edge, like that's the white area and the black area. You go to the east is black, you go to the west is white. You know what I had to be on? I had to be on these for real. If I wasn't on these, I would have had a hard time in school. I had to stand on business as a freshman. As a matter of fact, in seventh grade, I had to stand on business. Matter of fact, younger than that, I had to stand on business as a kid. Because once I go to try to get me something at the store on 119th, that White's was over there. I went to that store. I might have been about 12, and two white dudes, one my age, one older, walked up on me. And the one my age, he said, "What you'll do if I spit on you?" Just when I was a kid, I was going to the store to buy like a baseball or some kid stuff. And two kids, I was up there by myself. And that's the borderline. And when you cross the street, 119 go on the other side. That's the white side. But the store is on that side. It's like community store. That's like a department store. Back in the day, it was called community, I think it was called. And two white dudes walked up on me, and the one my age say, "What you do if I spit on you?" Two of them, just me. And I said, "I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass." And he laughed. Fuck you think I'm gonna do? Boy, you got me fucked up. Mama beat your ass out here. What you know about Stu Gambler, boy? What? I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of the black gangs. They scary. You not. You Opie off of Andy Griffin. I could whoop Opie. Boy, you better go home to Aunt B on my soul. Boy, this ain't the Andy Griffin show. You know what I'm saying? This is Chicago. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he said, though. We was just going to be scrapping. We was just going to be scrapping. And we going to go home. I'm going to get my friend on them bikes. We're going to ride back over there. You know what I'm saying? He ain't do nothing, though. But my point is, black immigrants wasn't even over here for no smoke. They didn't come to the coast was clear. And so now all this trying to make FBA a hate group because we don't want Africans pimping us because Africans and Caribbeans, they coming over talking about they took fire like me, right? So this is why so many black immigrants don't like FBA because they've been pretending they us and they don't like us saying, no, you not us. You is an immigrant, you's an African or something. And they don't like that because they've been pretending they us taking money out of our pocket. They liked it when it was just blacks. then they could come in and take from us. You was in Chicago in 1971? Yep, in 1971. I was 13 years old in 1971. I was 13 on the south side, Maple Park, 116th and Aberdeen. A black community, brand new homes and everything. My mom and daddy worked hard in this country to get what we got. Anybody gave us nothing. So the reason they don't like delineation, the reason they don't like FBA, because they've been black immigrants been using us to get stuff and been pretending they us when it benefit them. And they don't want no type of situation where they're identified, no, you're this and I'm that. They don't want that because they know once we split at the government, now they know now, once the government identifies us as foundational Black Americans, they know now we can push for a certain amount of jobs. We can push as FBA for a certain amount of benefits, which is going to cut into these tethers' money. You understand? See, the tethers, if we be identified, then now the country going to be responsible for making sure this identified foundational Black American group get so much jobs, get so much this and that. They know that's going to cut into their stuff because it's like, well, no, you haven't put nothing into the system. So they don't want no identification showing who put the most into the system. This is what Black immigrants don't want because now they know that the government can look and say, well, you ain't putting nothing in the pot. So you can't get all of this because they've been coming getting our benefits. They've been using Black to steal our benefits, to get benefits that they ain't put in the pot. Because we also going to stop all that 7 years, no taxes. That's going to go away. We're going to be demanding that. I'm going to be pushing that. As soon as this midterms is over and they start go for the president, we're going to start saying these immigrants cannot have no businesses with 7 years, no taxes. They got to pay taxes just like everybody else. All of these Black immigrants and foreign immigrants coming to this country stealing off of the backbone of real Americans, that got to stop. Because that mayor up in New York, he going to turn New York into a freebie for people that ain't paid no dues in this country. Because he ain't paid no dues. He's not supposed to be no mayor of New York. He have not, his family have not got enough blood in the soil, and he have not been here long enough to be no mayor of no New York. How you just come over here and now you the mayor of New York, and there's Americans that been here and they finally been here forever, and you the mayor? How you gonna be the mayor of Black people and white people and Asian people that been here for decades, for centuries? How you gonna be their mayor? And you just got over here skipping countries and skipped over here and ran for mayor. Come on, man. They got to stop moving these people in the front of the line ahead of the people that built the country. That got to stop. Yeah, he's going to destroy New York. He's going to give all them people handouts. New York going to be broke. He's going to come in there and he's going to give immigrants all of our tax dollars. He's going to give money to people who ain't paid no damn taxes. You're going to pay all these taxes. It's going to go to Africans. It's going to go to Middle Easterners. All your tax dollars. All the money that you put into Social Security, your family for years, is going to be gone. They're going to be like, we ain't got no Social Security. But we've been paying into Social Security for 60 years, 100 years. And some new people come over and get the benefits, ain't paid no taxes. You ain't supposed to be getting shit unless you can show how much taxes you done put into the country. How you going to come in from Africa and get some and you ain't put no taxes in the country? You ain't even put one lifetime of taxes in there, and people done put 4 lifetimes of taxes in there. They daddy done pay taxes. They granddaddy pay taxes. They great granddaddy. You come, your daddy wasn't here nobody. You a brand new immigrant over here. The only taxes you paid is since you've been working over here. Like let's say you born over here. That's you won't even pay no taxes when you were a baby, right? So you don't pay no taxes till you get a job. Your parents came over here. How much taxes they paid in for you to get anything? They ain't paid nothing in. How you getting out where you ain't put nothing in? So you taking other people's money. You living off of other people's money. Then they try to act like that's hate. No, that's economics. That's business. That's government. You can't run a government giving away the tax dollars of the citizens to people that they ain't put no money in the pot. Show me where you don't got no money in the pot and you could get some out. How you gonna sustain a nation like that? The country gonna go broke if they don't get these people out of here and start paying the people that put the money into the system. Stop underpaying the people that built the country and paying people that just showing up for a paycheck. While your sons and your ancestors went to war, they was in Asia somewhere. They was in South America somewhere. They was in Africa somewhere. While your relatives had to go to the VA hospital with all kind of wounds from war, still in a wheelchair. And this mother come from Africa and he get stuff. He ain't bust no gun or nothing. I'm just keeping it real. He ain't done nothing. What he did to fight for the country, for it to be a country where you can come and live somewhere where you ain't put no blood, sweat, and tears into the place and come get the same benefits as the people that got blood in the soil. That's not hate. They ain't gonna call that hate. Hate is coming and stealing from people, knowing that you didn't put no money in. That's hate. That's a quiet hate. You coming in and taking money off the table. I don't like it. I don't like it. The whole way immigrants get treated, God, they gotta earn. I ain't got no problem with immigrants coming here, but they gotta put money in the pot. They just can't come here and go dig in the pot. I don't got no problem with Africans and Caribbeans coming here, but they don't deserve no type of benefits. They gotta earn that. They could come here and work, but they don't. They shouldn't get no type of no benefits at all. They ain't supposed to get no tax breaks or none of that. And they cannot run for office. You cannot come over here and run for office and be my mayor. Are you kidding? I was born in 1958. So you telling me somebody could come from a foreign country and run and be my mayor? When I built this city, how much money I didn't put into Chicago? I'm 68. So you telling me you could bring your ass from Africa or somewhere and you could be my mayor? How? How you gonna be my mayor? Somebody be my mayor. Family got to be been here. How you my mayor? And you just got here. Come on, man. That's why the Democratic Party sucks. The Democratic Party gonna give America away to people that ain't even Americans. The people that ain't got no blood in the soil, ain't fought for the nation and all that. Because to me, you shouldn't even really be able to have certain jobs if you ain't been in the military. To me, to me. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see like Barack Obama, if he didn't serve in the military, I don't see where he should have been no president, especially a president. You ain't got necessarily to go to war, but you cannot be the commander in chief and you wasn't ever in the military. How you the commander in chief of the military and you ain't never been in the military? Trump, he ain't never been in the military. How you the commander in chief? How you gonna be the head of the military and you never served in the military? That got to change, man. That don't sound right. That don't make no sense to me. You shouldn't have the right to send nobody to war if you wasn't willing to go. Like, what are we doing? Keep it real. It's got to be a lot of changes in this country. I'm gonna tell you. But I just wanted to come speak on delineation because all these people are trying to make it because we want to distinguish ourselves. We hating a bunch of distinguished people. How a Nigerian gonna speak against us being foundational Black American and you a damn Nigerian? And you gonna talk unity, but you a Nigerian. Being a Nigerian ain't no unity. You ain't even no African. The Africans really need to shut up because you ain't even no African. You a Nigerian. You a Ghanaian. How you gonna talk about division? Why you ain't no damn African? What's the difference in the foundation Black American and a damn Ghanaian? Make it make some sense. Talking about we represent division. Africans really need to shut the hell up. All them tribes they got. Y'all ain't even no Nigerians. Y'all got 47 tribes. Talking about unity. We all the same. Go to Nigeria and tell them that. See what I'm saying? It's a bunch of fake stuff going on here. The slave owners was getting your great grandmamas and them pregnant too now. You got that slave blood. You know, my family name was Stewart, and that's some Irish people. So I know y'all don't want to respect you got them white names. There's some white men that knocked a couple of your ancestors back. I know you don't want to admit that, but hey, not all the time, because sometimes they would just name you after them just because they owned you. So you never know. But there was mixed babies, and when the whites would get the black woman pregnant, he would take the baby, make the baby a slave though. The baby was still the N word. They would sell their babies by black slave women into slavery or keep them and make them work. So a lot of the slaves had black mothers and slave owners' daddies. Look it up. But this conversation, I'm saying that we don't hate. Delineation is not about hate. I want to push that again. Everything I said has nothing to do with hate. I do not hate Africans. Just because I get on Africans' case, that does not mean I dislike Africans. I don't even know Africans. How can I dislike somebody I never met? Okay? So you got to separate. That's why they be having xenophobia. Me criticizing Africans does not mean hate Africans.